Let's go back to your big break. Your
Yeah.
first big artist. That you got. And just tell me how you felt about that.
Nervous. Rihanna.
How long did it take? But from that
Oh,
first video to
so
the
Rihanna was my 5th video of all
Holy
time,
shit!
which is
You
exactly.
came out the gate.
I came out the gate. So I was a PA. I was a production assistant twice on 2 different videos, and I didn't know any better. When you don't know any better, sometimes you can be golden, So I went straight up to the director, like, "Yo, man, I'm Taj from MySpace." Anthony Mandler. I'm like, "I'm Taj from MySpace." He's like, "Yeah, I want $1 million set right now. I don't know who you are, you know what I mean? But we could talk later." You know what I'm saying? I'm like, "All right, well, cool. I'm working on the set." So even if he wants to ignore me, he gonna have to talk to me later because I'm getting the check. I'm working on the set, even at the as a PA, parking lot attendant. But I'll see you later when you come get your car, and I get my time in, and that's what happened. Wow. I was like, "Yo, man, like, I want you to see my work. You said you would look at it. I don't care if nobody frustrated. It's my life." So I showed it to him. He said, "You did this?" I was like, "Mm-hmm." It was a video for Trax a Million, rest in peace. Trax a Million, Jacka, rest in peace, from the hood. Mm-hmm. And it was a video that I shot. I didn't make any money on it whatsoever, and I'm just saying that to say that, like, I'm happy that I didn't because I put every single thing that I had into it on the screen. I even took some shoes back.
Yeah.
I mean, hear that again. I took some shoes back, bro, because I was this close, this far away from being able to afford the lenses that I wanted. So I took some shoes back that I wanted to wear on set. You know what I'm saying? There's photos of me on that set, and they're all mediums and shots like this because I was like, I don't want nobody looking at my shoes.
But that's greater. That's the great thing about being a sneakerhead, though.
Yeah, I was like, man.
Yeah.
So
I was going to take my J's back, man.
You go up to this director, and does he give you a shot?
Well, he gives me a shot in the way that everybody gets a shot, and sometimes, like, people miss it, right? He was like, "You did this?" I said, "Yeah." He was like, "Wow, this is cool. This is cool. You talked to the producer yet? You talked to my producer yet? You should talk to him." And I was like, "All right, cool." But recognizing what this means, though, he's not just pushing me off. If he's saying, "Talk to my producer," right, and they're getting money together and they're having success together, he don't want to send them no bullshit. So that was a sign to me that I'm doing something right. He swung me over to the producer, and the story, as of up until like about 2 years ago, the story goes that the producer loved my work and they called me, and one day when I'm back in Oakland and they signed me. But 2 years ago, my brother was like, "I got to tell you something." And this is after I've had all the success, after 15 billion views, everything, traveled the world and everything. And he was like, the producer, and I don't want to say his name, he's like, "That producer owed me a favor." And I called him and told him, "We'll be even if you sign my brother. I promise you won't regret it."
Wow.
And he was like, "Are you mad at me?" And I was like, "Nah," because I thought that I did it on my own. I still did it on my own.
You put yourself out there.
I put myself out there.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that knowledge, and I went as if that didn't happen. So it's all good. But like the courage he had to tell me that after all this time, you know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, I guess this is what this is.
Yeah, because you got Rihanna video, so it's win or lose, baby.
Yeah, and that Rihanna video didn't have nothing to do with my
lose.
brother. That was like, yo, I wrote a treatment. Like, I was trying to save my life, bro. I wrote this treatment for Please Don't Stop the Music. And 3 weeks went by, I didn't hear anything. And I'm living in my first apartment in LA, a condemned building that I signed a contract to live in. That was like, yo, we tearing the building down in 10 months. You can't complain. Sign this, we won't check your credit or nothing. I only had like $700 anyway, so moved in. And so I'm down on I'm like, I need a job, you know what I mean? And then boom, I get this phone call walking back from Rouse. Josh? I was like, yeah, hey, this is whatever his name was, Kevin. What's your passport number? I'm like, my passport number? I don't even have a passport at the time. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, you're the director for the Rihanna video, right? And I'm like, man, is this a joke? Who is this? And no one else knows about it, you know what I'm saying? He's like, yeah, you must have didn't get the phone calls, you know what I'm saying? So I checked my phone. I had missed all these calls while I was in the grocery store. Somehow, I called back and they was like, yeah, we've been calling you just to congratulate you. You're going to Prague. You're shooting Rihanna's video. Man, I was excited and nervous at the same time.
I could only imagine the jitters you have going into a Rihanna shoot on your 5th shoot ever.
The thing I want to know is the budget. What I do with this budget? How much money do I put in my pocket? Because at the end of the day, it's still about money.
Yeah. And this is
how
at
much
point,
money do we put in your pocket after this video?
Let's just say this, man. When I got back home, I was barely able to pay my rent in my condemned building. Because here's the game too, is that like, look, we don't got to talk about it. You're doing this Rihanna video, right? She may have needed some convincing too. At the time, she was 17, 18, something like that. You know, I don't know, but I could feel that there are some things that were happening to make this happen, and I've done everything that I needed to do to make sure that I could be awarded this job. You know, so I could just tell you that, like, and I feel confident saying this now, and for whoever's watching this, no shame in my game. There was some help there, and somebody spoke for me, and I still don't know who, but I could feel like someone spoke for me. She didn't know who I was. When I walked in the trailer, they was like, "Where's the director?" And I was like, "I'm right here." You know what I'm saying? I remember that. I was hella embarrassed. I was like, "What? I'm right here. You'll see me shining? All right, you'll see me in 10 years. You'll see." Shit, they was just looking at me like, "All right, let's hear it." And the looks on their faces was like, we're trusting somebody else. You know what I'm saying? We're trusting somebody. Someone told us about you. We're going to trust you. We're going to be okay no matter what. You may not. So kill this. And I killed it.
Killed it for sure.
I had no choice.
Killed it for sure, but still, what that money look like?
the budget to this day, man, to this day. Okay, so they shot 2 videos in Prague, right? One video, they had Lamborghini shells, like models on the walls, and it was a massive production. It was for a song called "Shut Up and Drive," and I was looking at that, and then I looked at my video. I was in a club, and I was like, "Why are we in Prague shooting inside of a club? We could have did this in L.A., right?"
Exactly.
Thinking about all these things I need to be thinking about, and we were shooting in a club, and they're like, "No, this is a club song," and I think "Shut Up and Drive" was supposed to be a bigger song, so they put like 800,000 or something like that into that. I think I had 75,000. Or something like that, right? Which is another thing too. It's like there's a lot that goes into it. The song, how people gravitate to the song. You know what I mean?
Do you feel like you knew how to direct at that time? Because like, what is a director responsible for?
Staying out
overall?
of his own way, staying out of your own way, and letting people be as natural as possible, putting them in a position, but not making them robotic. You can over direct. And then people are moving like this, and they even know when to stop before you say cut. If people are stopping before you say cut,
You're doing something wrong.
you're doing something wrong.
Because what actually, like, how do you pick a production company that you actually want to work with and be comfortable with?
I got lucky, man. That advice is so hard for me to give because I was so fortunate. Like Tara Razavi was like for the majority of my career, she was my executive producer. Born on the same day, you know what I mean? I'm not really too much in the zodiacs, but I think we thought alike, and we had the same kind of like chip on our shoulder that like, oh, you don't want to, like we saw other people getting respect, and I'm like, man, I'm nicer. I can do this. Like I work harder. Like I'm up at night losing sleep over this shit. Like, I can be in a club. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm getting it, and it's not a competition thing, but it is at the same time, right? Because if I'm not getting the check, then you're gonna get the check, right? And I want to smash. Like if I'm gonna be here, man, like I want to be on No Jumper one day. You know what I'm saying? To talk about it.
And let's shout out the editor, because without the editor, there's nothing.
Yo, we just hit 400,000 subscribers right here on the Clips channel. So if you want to help us out, click subscribe, get us to 500K. Yeah.